Yeah, and if anyone should have disowned me, it should have been her. She should have been the one to throw me out like trash. Hulk Hogan's rocky relationship with his daughter Brooke was never a secret, but no one realized just how deep the damage went until now. After Hogan's death, a disturbing message from Brooke to her father surfaced in court, and it's thrown the entire will into chaos. She may be cut off entirely from the inheritance. Let me explain. On July 24, 2025, the wrestling world was stunned by news that sent shock waves through entertainment and beyond. At age 71, Hulk Hogan, the immortal icon who defined an era of sports entertainment, died of cardiac arrest in his home in Clearwater, Florida. Just before 10 a.m., Clearwater Fire and Rescue and local police were called to a house on El Laredo Avenue for a medical emergency. They found Terry Bollea, better known as Hulk Hogan, in serious distress. He was rushed to Morton Plant Hospital and pronounced dead at 11:17 a.m. Authorities said there were no signs of foul play. Rumors of Hogan's failing health had been growing for weeks. Bubba the Love Sponge had claimed Hogan was in serious medical trouble. Hogan had recently undergone extensive neck surgery, a 4-level anterior cervical discectomy and fusion, which affected not just his spine but also his voice and breathing. During the initial probate proceedings for Hogan's estate, something emerged that shocked everyone. Despite Brooke asking months earlier to be removed from her father's will to avoid legal fights, the law requires closely examining family communications in cases like this to ensure the will reflects Hogan's final wishes under Florida law. What the estate's legal team discovered in Hogan's devices and messages told a heartbreaking story. He had tried to reach out to Brooke in his final months, about both personal and business matters. But Brooke felt repeatedly disconnected, hurt by choices she believed were harmful, despite his attempts at communication. The judge presiding over probate was deeply moved, and visibly shaken, by what was revealed. These private messages, though not made public in whole, showed two people who loved each other, father and daughter, but were so wounded by years of dysfunction they couldn't bridge the divide. Brooke's final conversation with him took place 2 weeks before his wedding to Sky Daly in September 2023. She'd expressed care about his health, but soon after, she felt shut out. One of the most devastating revelations was about Brooke being excluded from his last medical procedures, though she had been present for nearly 25 previous surgeries. The messages indicated this wasn't just distance or miscommunication, it was choices made by those around him. Decisions that prevented Brooke from being by her father's side when he needed her most. The judge blew up when reviewing messages showing Hogan was caught between loyalty to Sky Daly, his new wife, and his desire to reconnect with his daughter, a conflict that had helped drive the estrangement. And then there were Brooke's abuse allegations in March 2025. Privately, Hogan sometimes denied them, sometimes expressed regret, sometimes acknowledged they might be true, a painful internal struggle. When Brooke finally released a public statement after his death, she said she felt some peace after receiving what she described as an apology. But those intimate communications suggest the apology may have come through intermediaries or in messages that were not preserved, or intentional omissions in the record. It seems to have been one last attempt at connection. Brooke's request that her name be removed from his will, months before his death, comes into sharper clarity now. It wasn't just anger or defiance. The messages suggest a desire to protect herself and her family from financial baggage that might continue the cycle of trauma. These revelations open old wounds, they expose family secrets no one could have predicted. Brooke Hogan didn't just pull away, she reportedly voluntarily excluded herself from her father's inheritance. And the bombshell came when she went public in March 2025 with detailed allegations of verbal, emotional, and sometimes physical abuse by both parents dating back to childhood. Her Instagram post was explosive. She spoke of manipulation, lies, being treated like a pawn. Not vague bitterness, but specific claims that shook the foundation of Hogan's public image as devoted father. Earlier, she had defended him publicly, especially during controversies. Now she painted a different picture. Brooke said the abuse didn't end in childhood, it permeated into adulthood, affecting her self-esteem, her career, her personal relationships. A turning point came during a difficult C-section delivering twins in January 2025. She came close to death herself, and holding her newborns forced her to confront what kind of legacy she wanted. The public reaction was fierce. Linda Hogan responded immediately. She accused Brooke of narcissism, denied the abuse, admitted only one incident of physical discipline, and dismissed much of Brooke's account as a party girl past. Linda also claimed the family had been unaware of Brooke's marriage to Stephen Alexi and the twins, underscoring how cut off she had become. Stephen Alexi stood by Brooke, claiming he'd witnessed toxic dynamics firsthand. He said his efforts to mediate were rebuffed by Hogan's side. The allegations weren't only painful, they were deeply destabilizing. For Hogan himself, it appears the toll was significant. Observers close to him say the family fight, combined with declining health, wore him down. Hogan had weathered public scandal before, the racist comments scandal in 2015 after audio leaks, the lawsuit with Gawker, and controversies surrounding his political views. But the allegations from his daughter struck deeper, they targeted his role as a father. The racist comments scandal, for example. The public reaction was fierce. Linda Hogan responded immediately. She accused Brooke of narcissism, denied the abuse, admitted only one incident of physical discipline, and dismissed much of Brooke's account as a party girl past. Linda also claimed the family had been unaware of Brooke's marriage to Stephen Alexi and the twins, underscoring how cut off she had become. Had already damaged his reputation. He used racial slurs during a private conversation that became public. WWE cut ties. The man with the real American persona was already on shaky ground. He built a career telling kids to say their prayers and eat their vitamins. But the man behind the bandana was losing control of his own story. On top of that, years of surgeries left him in pain, prescription painkillers turned into dependency. Family life had always had drama, divorces, accusations, accidents. Each new controversy piled on the next. In the end, the final messages between father and daughter, which moved a judge to tears, represent more than family turbulence. They are a stark reminder that no amount of fame, success, or public adoration can erase private suffering. Life's greatest battles are often in the broken ties, the unloved words, the moments we can't fix. Thanks for watching.